It is a dynamic, fluid experience that is continuously shaped by our perceptions, thoughts, and emotions. We often perceive reality through the lens of our past experiences, beliefs, and conditioning. This lens can cloud our vision, preventing us from seeing the world as it truly is. To awaken the mind, we must first recognize the illusory nature of our perceptions and understand that reality is a construct of our consciousness. Imagine for a moment that you are standing on the shore of an expansive ocean. The waves crash against the rocks, the salty breeze fills your lungs, and the horizon stretches endlessly before you. This ocean is a metaphor for the vastness of our consciousness, and the waves represent the thoughts and emotions that arise and dissipate within us. Just as the ocean is not defined by its waves, we are not defined by our thoughts and emotions. By observing them without attachment, we can begin to see the true nature of reality. One of the greatest obstacles to awakening the mind is the illusion of separation. We often see ourselves as separate from the world around us, distinct individuals navigating a fragmented existence. This perception creates a sense of isolation and disconnection, leading to feelings of fear, anxiety, and suffering. We are all interconnected, part of a greater whole. The boundaries we perceive between ourselves and others, between ourselves and the environment, are mere constructs of the mind. By dissolving these boundaries, we can experience a profound sense of unity and oneness with all that is. Consider the analogy of a wave in the ocean. A wave may appear distinct and separate, but it is intrinsically connected to the ocean from which it arises. Similarly, we are not separate from the universe, we are expressions of it. When we awaken to this understanding, we transcend the illusion of separation and experience a deeper connection with the world around us. To awaken the mind, we must cultivate the power of presence. Presence is the state of being fully engaged in the present moment, free from the distractions of past memories and future anticipations. It is a state of heightened awareness, where we can observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment or attachment. In our modern lives, we are often caught in a constant stream of thoughts, worries, and distractions. This mental chatter prevents us from experiencing the richness of the present moment. By practicing mindfulness and meditation, we can quiet the mind and cultivate a state of presence. Imagine sitting in a garden, surrounded by the vibrant colors and fragrances of blooming flowers. As you sit in stillness, you begin to notice the intricate details of each petal, the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze, and the symphony of birdsong. In this state of presence, you are fully immersed in the beauty of the moment, free from the burdens of the past and future. Presence is not just a practice, it is a way of being. By bringing our attention to the present moment, we can experience a profound sense of peace, clarity, and joy. It is in this state of presence that the mind awakens to its true potential. Meditation is a powerful tool for awakening the mind. It is a practice that allows us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations with clarity and detachment. Through meditation, we can quiet the mind, cultivate inner stillness, and access deeper states of consciousness. There are many forms of meditation, each offering unique benefits. One simple yet profound practice is mindfulness meditation. In this practice, we bring our attention to the breath, observing each inhale and exhale with curiosity and openness. As we sit in stillness, we become aware of the thoughts and emotions that arise, allowing them to come and go without attachment. Another powerful practice is loving-kindness meditation. In this practice, we cultivate feelings of compassion and love for ourselves and others. We begin by offering kind and loving wishes to ourselves, and then extend these wishes to loved ones, acquaintances, and even those we may have conflicts with. This practice helps to dissolve feelings of separation and cultivate a sense of interconnectedness. We learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. This awareness allows us to respond to life's challenges with greater wisdom and equanimity. Meditation is not about escaping from the world. It is about awakening to the fullness of our experience and living with greater clarity and intention. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. It has the ability to heal, transform, and awaken the mind. However, love is often misunderstood as a fleeting emotion or a conditional state of being. True love is unconditional and boundless. It is the essence of our being. To awaken the mind, we must cultivate love and compassion for ourselves and others. This begins with self-love, the recognition that we are worthy and deserving of love and acceptance. By embracing our true selves with kindness and compassion, we create a foundation for awakening. Consider the lotus flower, which grows in the mud yet blossoms into a thing of beauty. Similarly, our true nature is not defined by the challenges and struggles we face. By nurturing ourselves with love and compassion, we can rise above the mud of our circumstances and awaken to our true potential. Loving kindness meditation, as mentioned earlier, is a powerful practice for cultivating love and compassion. By sending loving wishes to ourselves and others, we dissolve feelings of separation and cultivate a sense of interconnectedness. This practice opens our hearts and allows us to experience the transformative power of love. Love is not just an emotion, it is a state of being. When we awaken to the truth that we are love, we transcend the limitations of the mind and experience a profound sense of unity with all that is. Letting go is a fundamental aspect of awakening the mind. We often hold on to beliefs, identities, and attachments that limit our potential and keep us stuck in patterns of suffering. By letting go, we create space for new possibilities and experiences to emerge. Letting go does not mean giving up or becoming passive. It is an active process of releasing what no longer serves us and embracing the present moment with openness and curiosity. It requires courage and trust as we step into the unknown and surrender to the flow of life. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the more the sand slips through your fingers. However, when you relax your hand and let go, the sand rests gently in your palm. Similarly, when we let go of our attachments and expectations, we create space for the natural flow of life to unfold. One way to practice letting go is through mindful awareness. As we observe our thoughts and emotions, we can identify the attachments and beliefs that no longer serve us. By bringing awareness to these patterns, we can consciously choose to release them. Another practice is to embrace the impermanence of life. Everything in life is in a constant state of change, and nothing is permanent. By embracing this truth, we can let go of our need to control and allow life to unfold naturally. Letting go is an ongoing practice, one that requires patience and compassion. As we release what no longer serves us, we create space for new possibilities and experiences to emerge. This is the essence of awakening the mind. Awakening the mind is a journey of self-discovery. It is a process of peeling back the layers of conditioning, beliefs, and identities to reveal the true essence of our being. This journey requires courage, curiosity, and a willingness to explore the depths of our inner landscape. Self-discovery is not about finding something outside of ourselves. It is about uncovering what has always been within us. It is about reconnecting with our true nature and living in alignment with our authentic self. Imagine embarking on a journey through a dense forest. As you navigate the twists and turns, you encounter various obstacles and challenges. Eventually, you emerge from the forest into a vast, open meadow where you experience a sense of freedom and expansiveness. Similarly, the journey of self-discovery requires us to navigate the challenges and obstacles of our inner landscape. By facing our fears, limiting beliefs, and conditioned patterns, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and a greater sense of clarity. This journey leads us to a place of inner freedom and expansiveness, where we can live in alignment with our true nature. Self-discovery is not a destination, it is a continuous process of growth and evolution. It requires us to remain open and curious, always willing to explore the depths of our being. By embracing this journey, we awaken the mind and unlock the infinite potential within us. Intention is a powerful force that shapes our reality. It is the driving force behind our thoughts, actions, and experiences. By setting clear and conscious intentions, we can direct the flow of our energy and create the life we desire. Intention is not about forcing or controlling outcomes. It is about aligning our energy with our highest aspirations and allowing the natural flow of life to unfold. It requires clarity, focus, and trust in the process. One of the most striking aspects of our existence is the opposition we perceive between life and death, good and bad, pleasure and pain. These dualities shape our understanding of the world, but they are in fact illusions. They are constructs of the mind that create a false sense of separation. In reality, life and death are not opposites, but two sides of the same coin. Light and dark, joy and sorrow, success and failure. This tendency to think in terms of duality stems from the way our minds work. Our perception is inherently limited, and we rely on contrasts to make sense of the world. However, this dualistic thinking can obscure the deeper reality that opposites are interconnected and interdependent. They are two aspects of the same entity. Similarly, life and death are intertwined. Death is not the end of life, but a transformation, a part of the continuous cycle of existence. Without death, there would be no renewal, no space for new life. This understanding invites us to view death not as a tragic endpoint, but as an integral part of the natural order. The illusion of separation arises from our identification with the ego, the sense of self that distinguishes us from the rest of the world. The ego creates boundaries, defining what is me and what is not me. This sense of separation leads to fear and anxiety as we feel isolated and vulnerable in a seemingly hostile world. However, this perception of separateness is a distortion of reality. In truth, we are deeply interconnected with the universe. Just as waves are not separate from the ocean, we are not separate from the cosmos. Every aspect of our being is intertwined with the greater whole. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions ripple through the fabric of existence, affecting everything around us. When we recognize this interconnectedness, we can transcend the illusion of separation and experience a profound sense of unity. Life and death are often seen as diametrically opposed, but they are actually complementary. They are both essential aspects of the same process. Without death, life would stagnate. Without life, death would have no meaning. Together, they create the dynamic interplay that sustains the universe. Consider the changing seasons. In autumn, leaves fall and plants wither, signaling the end of the growing season. This period of death and decay is necessary for the renewal of spring when new life emerges. Similarly, in our own lives, we must let go of the old to make way for the new. Death is not an end, but a transition, a necessary part of the cycle of growth and transformation. When we understand that life and death are not opposites but parts of a greater whole, we can embrace the fullness of life. We can appreciate the beauty and fragility of our existence, knowing that every moment is precious. This awareness can free us from the fear of death and allow us to live more fully and authentically. Imagine if instead of consoling a dying person with false hope, we celebrated their transition. Acknowledging the inevitability of death allows us to let go of our attachments and embrace the fullness of life. Accepting death can liberate us from the fear of the unknown and the burden of self-preservation. It should be a moment of immense celebration, marked by joy and reverence. Our perception of life and death is heavily influenced by cultural beliefs and practices. In many Western societies, death is often viewed with fear and denial. We avoid discussing it, and when it happens, we struggle to cope with the loss. This cultural attitude stems from a deep-seated fear of the unknown and a reluctance to confront our own mortality. In contrast, many Eastern traditions embrace death as a natural part of life. In Buddhism, for example, death is seen as a transition to a new state of being. The concept of reincarnation suggests that life continues in different forms, and death is merely a passage from one state to another. This perspective can offer comfort and solace, helping individuals to accept death with equanimity and grace. Accepting death as a natural part of life can bring profound wisdom. It encourages us to live more mindfully, to appreciate the present moment, and to let go of our attachments. When we accept the impermanence of life, we can cultivate a sense of peace and contentment. We can focus on what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in the pursuit of material wealth or external validation. This acceptance also fosters compassion and empathy. When we recognize that everyone is subject to the same cycle of life and death, we can develop a deeper understanding of others' experiences. We can offer support and comfort to those who are suffering, knowing that we are all interconnected. Our mortality is a gift, reminding us of the preciousness of life. It urges us to live with intention, to pursue our passions, and to nurture our relationships. It challenges us to confront our fears and to grow beyond our limitations. In this way, death can be a powerful teacher, guiding us toward a more meaningful and fulfilling life. When we accept death, we release ourselves from the constant need for security and control. This acceptance brings a profound sense of freedom and vitality. Instead of clinging to life, we can flow with it, understanding that change and impermanence are the very essence of existence. Fear of death is one of the most primal and pervasive fears. It shapes our behavior, influences our decisions, and affects our mental and emotional well-being. By facing this fear head-on, we can transcend it and find a deeper sense of peace. One way to transcend the fear of death is through meditation and mindfulness practices. By observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can develop a greater awareness of our inner landscape. We can learn to detach from our ego and connect with a deeper sense of self that transcends the physical body. Another approach is to engage in practices that cultivate a sense of connection with the greater whole. Spending time in nature, practicing gratitude, and engaging in acts of kindness can all help us to feel more connected to the universe. These practices can remind us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, and that our existence is woven into the fabric of the cosmos. Living in the present moment is a powerful antidote to the fear of death. When we are fully present, we are not preoccupied with thoughts of the past or worries about the future. We can experience the richness of life in all its dimensions, savoring each moment as it comes. Presence allows us to engage more deeply with our experiences and to connect more authentically with others. It helps us to appreciate the beauty and wonder of the world, even in the midst of challenges and difficulties. By cultivating presence, we can find joy and fulfillment in the here and now. Life and death are like partners in a dance, moving in harmony with each other. This dance is a continuous flow, a dynamic interplay of creation and destruction, growth and decay. By embracing this dance, we can find a deeper sense of balance and harmony in our lives. In this dance, there is no final destination, no ultimate goal to be achieved. The journey itself is the destination, and every step is a part of the unfolding process. This perspective encourages us to let go of our need for control and to trust in the natural flow of life. Our bodies carry the wisdom of the ages, a deep knowing that transcends our conscious mind. By tuning into the sensations and rhythms of our bodies, we can tap into this innate wisdom. Our bodies remind us of our connection to the earth, to the cycles of nature, and to the greater whole. Practices such as yoga, tai chi, and dance can help us to reconnect with our bodies and to honor their wisdom. These practices encourage us to move with awareness, to listen to the signals of our bodies, and to find harmony within ourselves. The journey of self-discovery is a lifelong process, a continual unfolding of our true nature. By exploring the depths of our being, we can uncover the layers of conditioning and illusion that obscure our true selves. This journey requires courage, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Through self-discovery, we can find our unique gifts and passions, and we can contribute to the world in meaningful ways. We can cultivate a sense of purpose and direction, guided by our inner wisdom. This journey is not about reaching a final destination, but about continually growing and evolving. Relationships are a vital part of the dance of life and death. They provide us with opportunities for growth, connection, and transformation. Through our interactions with others, we can learn more about ourselves and the world around us. Healthy relationships are based on mutual respect, trust, and open communication. They require effort and commitment, but they also offer immense rewards. By nurturing our relationships, we can create a supportive network of love and understanding that sustains us through the ups and downs of life. Compassion is a powerful force that can transform our lives and the world around us. It allows us to connect with others on a deep level, to understand their struggles, and to offer support and comfort. Compassion arises from the recognition of our shared humanity and our interconnectedness. By cultivating compassion, we can create a more just and caring world. We can address the root causes of suffering and work towards solutions that benefit everyone. Compassion is not just a feeling, but a call to action, a commitment to make a positive difference in the lives of others. In the end, the most important legacy we can leave behind is the love we have shared. Love transcends the boundaries of life and death, creating a lasting impact that endures beyond our physical existence. It is the essence of who we are and the greatest gift we can offer to the world. By living with love and kindness, we can create ripples of positive change that spread far and wide. Our actions, however small, can make a significant difference in the lives of others. This legacy of love is a testament to our interconnectedness and the enduring power of the human spirit. Memory is a fascinating aspect of human experience. We often think of it as a reliable record of our past, a collection of moments and experiences that shape who we are. But what if I told you that memory is not as concrete as we believe it to be? What if I told you that memory, like all things in life, is impermanent and illusory? Imagine a time when you attended a joyous gathering, perhaps a picnic or a party with friends. As you enjoyed the company of loved ones and immersed yourself in the present moment, someone suggested capturing the moment with a photograph. You eagerly obliged, smiling for the camera as the shutter clicked, freezing that moment in time. You look back at that photograph, reminiscing about the day's events, the laughter, the conversations, the joy. But as you gaze upon that photograph, are you truly reliving those moments, or are you merely observing a shadow of the past? The truth is, no matter how vivid our memories may seem, they are but fleeting echoes of moments gone by. Memory, in its essence, is a form of reproduction. It is our mind's way of preserving past experiences, allowing us to recall them at a later time. But this act of reproduction comes at a cost. When we cling too tightly to our memories, when we become attached to the past, we risk missing out on the richness of the present moment. Consider the person who, in their desire to preserve memories, spends more time capturing moments with a camera than experiencing them firsthand. They become so focused on capturing the perfect shot that they fail to fully immerse themselves in the experience. In essence, they trade the richness of the present moment for a mere representation of it. This is not to say that memory is inherently bad. Memories can bring us great joy, they can teach us valuable lessons, and they can shape our identities. But we must be mindful of the balance between cherishing our memories and living in the present moment. In the words of the ancient philosopher Lao Tzu, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. This wisdom reminds us of the importance of embracing the present moment, for it is in the present that life truly unfolds. The idea that all we know is an illusion, a memory, can be a challenging concept to grasp. We are so accustomed to thinking of time as linear, with the past behind us and the future ahead of us. But what if I told you that time, as we perceive it, is merely a construct of the mind? You are experiencing them in the present moment. The past, with all its memories and experiences, exists only in your mind. The future, with all its hopes and fears, exists only as a projection of the mind. In reality, all that truly exists is the eternal now. This concept is beautifully illustrated by the idea of Maya, the illusion of reality. Maya teaches us that the world as we perceive it is not the true reality, but rather a projection of our minds. Just as a movie projector creates the illusion of movement by projecting still images onto a screen, our minds create the illusion of time by stringing together moments of experience. When we become attached to our memories, when we cling to the past, we are living in Maya. We are allowing ourselves to be deceived by the illusion of time, believing that the past is somehow more real than the present. But the truth is, the past is gone. It exists only in our memories, which are themselves fleeting and impermanent. To truly awaken to the beauty of life, we must learn to let go of our attachments to the past and embrace the present moment. We must learn to see through the illusion of time and recognize that all we have is this moment, right now. This does not mean that we should disregard the lessons of the past or ignore the future. Rather, it means that we should approach life with a sense of mindfulness and presence, recognizing that each moment is precious and fleeting. We begin to see that life is not a series of events unfolding in time, but rather a timeless dance of consciousness. We begin to see that the present moment is all there truly is, and that by embracing it fully, we can awaken to the beauty and wonder of life. A fundamental aspect of the human experience. Attachment and detachment are two sides of the same coin, each offering its own wisdom and challenges. Attachment is a natural part of being human. We form attachments to people, places, and things, seeking security and comfort in the familiar. But attachment can also lead to suffering. When we become too attached to something, we cling to it desperately, fearing its loss. This attachment can cloud our judgment and prevent us from fully experiencing life as it unfolds. Detachment, on the other hand, is often misunderstood. Detachment does not mean apathy or indifference. Rather, it means having a sense of perspective, a willingness to let go of attachments when they no longer serve us. Detachment allows us to see things as they are, without the distortions of our attachments. To awaken to the beauty of life, we must find a balance between attachment and detachment. We must learn to cherish our attachments without clinging to them, to appreciate the beauty of life without becoming attached to it. This balance is not always easy to achieve, but it is essential for living a fulfilled and meaningful life. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can observe our attachments and detachments with clarity, gaining insight into the nature of our minds. Another way to cultivate balance is through the practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean renouncing the world or its pleasures. Rather, it means enjoying the world and its pleasures without becoming attached to them. It means recognizing that all things are impermanent and that clinging to them only leads to suffering. A concept that lies at the heart of our existence. Life and death are not separate, but a part of a continuous cycle of renewal and transformation. In the cycle of samsara and nirvana, we see the unity of attachment and detachment. Samsara represents the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth, driven by attachment to the material world. Nirvana, on the other hand, represents liberation from this cycle, achieved through detachment and enlightenment. Life itself is a continual process of forgetting and renewal. When we die, we shed the old to make way for the new, much like a snake shedding its skin. Death is not an end, but a transition, a natural part of the cycle of life and death. The concept of eternal forgetting is a profound one. It reminds us that we are not the sum total of our memories and experiences. Instead, we are part of a larger, eternal process of renewal and transformation. When we let go of our attachments and embrace the present moment, we can experience a sense of liberation and freedom. Death is not to be feared, but embraced as a natural part of life. It is through the process of death and rebirth that we can continue to evolve and grow. Each death brings with it the opportunity for new beginnings, new experiences, and new possibilities. Exploring ways in which we can apply these teachings to our daily lives. Awakening is not just about understanding these concepts intellectually, but about embodying them in our thoughts, words, and actions. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. By cultivating mindfulness, we can become more attuned to the present moment and less caught up in our thoughts about the past or future. Another important practice for awakening is non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean renouncing the world or its pleasures. Instead, it means enjoying the world and its pleasures without becoming attached to them. By practicing non-attachment, we can free ourselves from the cycle of desire and suffering. Gratitude is another powerful practice for awakening. By cultivating gratitude for the present moment and all that it offers, we can shift our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant in our lives. Gratitude opens our hearts and minds to the beauty and wonder of life, allowing us to fully appreciate the present moment. Love and compassion are also essential practices for awakening. By cultivating love and compassion for ourselves and others, we can break down the barriers that separate us and connect more deeply with the world around us. Love and compassion are powerful forces for transformation, capable of transcending our egos and opening us to the beauty of life's eternal dance. Letting go does not mean giving up or relinquishing control. Instead, it means releasing our attachments to outcomes and embracing the flow of life as it unfolds. By letting go of our need to control, we can surrender to the wisdom of the universe and trust in the process of life. As I often say, philosophy is not just an academic exercise or a collection of abstract ideas. It is, fundamentally, the expression of our curiosity about the world and our attempt to make sense of it. Philosophy, at its core, is the exploration of the nature of reality, consciousness, and existence itself. Philosophy is often seen as a search for answers, a quest to understand the fundamental truths of the universe. But in the eyes of Zen, this search for answers is itself a part of the illusion. Zen teaches us that the more we try to grasp and understand the nature of reality intellectually, the further we move away from truly understanding it. It's like trying to catch the wind in a net. The harder you try, the more it slips through your fingers. Zen invites us to approach philosophy not as a search for answers, but as a way of experiencing life directly. It's about opening ourselves up to the mystery of existence, to the wonder and awe of simply being alive. In Zen, there is a term, satori, which refers to a sudden, intuitive understanding of the nature of reality. It's not something that can be achieved through intellectual effort. It's a moment of profound insight that arises when the mind is quiet and receptive. So rather than approaching philosophy as a way to find definitive answers, Zen encourages us to approach it as a way to deepen our experience of life. It's about becoming more attuned to the rhythms of the universe, more open to the beauty and complexity of existence. In this sense, philosophy becomes not a quest for knowledge, but a celebration of the mystery of life itself. Zen also teaches us the importance of embracing paradox. Life is full of contradictions and mysteries that defy rational explanation. Zen invites us to embrace these contradictions, to see them not as obstacles to understanding, but as gateways to deeper insight. As the Zen saying goes, the way that can be spoken of is not the true way. In other words, the ultimate truths of the universe cannot be expressed in words or concepts. They can only be experienced directly. The illusion of the self. In Western philosophy and psychology, the concept of the self is central to our understanding of who we are. We see ourselves as individual, separate beings distinct from the world around us. But in Zen, this notion of a separate self is seen as an illusion, a trick of the mind that obscures the true nature of reality. Zen teaches us that the self is not a fixed, permanent entity, but rather a constantly changing, impermanent phenomenon. Our sense of self is constructed out of a complex interplay of thoughts, emotions, memories, and sensations, all of which are fleeting and transient. There is no underlying, unchanging self that exists independently of these experiences. Rather, the self is an ever-changing process, a dynamic flow of consciousness that is constantly in flux. This idea can be challenging for many of us to grasp, as we are so accustomed to thinking of ourselves as separate, individual entities. But Zen invites us to look beyond this illusion and to see that our sense of self is not separate from the world around us. In Zen, there is a concept known as interbeing, which teaches us that we are not separate from the world, but rather interconnected with all beings and phenomena. This interconnectedness is not just a philosophical concept, it is a direct experience that can be realized through meditation and contemplation. When we quiet the chatter of our minds and become fully present in the moment, we can experience a profound sense of connection with the world around us. We see that the boundaries between self and other begin to dissolve, and we realize that we are not separate from the world, but rather a part of it. This realization has profound implications for how we view ourselves and our place in the world. It teaches us humility as we see that our sense of self-importance is based on a false understanding of who we are. It also teaches us compassion as we see that the suffering of others is not separate from our own. When we realize that we are all interconnected, we naturally feel a sense of empathy and compassion towards all beings. Zen also teaches us the importance of letting go of attachments to the self. Our sense of self is often tied up in our possessions, our achievements, and our relationships. But Zen teaches us that these attachments are ultimately empty and fleeting. The things we cling to as sources of identity and security are, in reality, impermanent and ever-changing. In Zen, reality is seen as a dynamic, ever-changing process, rather than a fixed, static thing. This view stands in contrast to the Western notion of reality as something objective and separate from ourselves. In Zen, there is no clear distinction between the observer and the observed. Rather, the two are seen as intimately connected and interdependent. One of the key concepts in Zen is the idea of emptiness or sunyata. This concept is often misunderstood as meaning nothingness or non-existence. But in Zen, emptiness refers to the idea that all phenomena are empty of inherent existence. That is, they do not exist independently of other phenomena, but are rather interconnected and interdependent. This idea can be difficult to grasp as we are so accustomed to thinking of things as separate and distinct. But in Zen, there is a recognition that everything is connected and that nothing exists in isolation. This insight is not just a philosophical concept, but a direct experience that can be realized through meditation and contemplation. When we quiet the chatter of our minds and become fully present in the moment, we can experience a profound sense of interconnectedness with all things. We see that the boundaries between self and other begin to dissolve, and we realize that we are not separate from the world, but rather a part of it. This realization has profound implications for how we view the world and our place in it. It teaches us humility, as we see that our sense of self-importance is based on a false understanding of reality. It also teaches us compassion, as we see that the suffering of others is not separate from our own. When we realize that we are all interconnected, we naturally feel a sense of empathy and compassion towards all beings. The concept of the ego and its role in our perception of reality. In Zen philosophy, the ego is seen as an illusion, a false sense of self that is separate from the rest of the world. This illusion of the ego is created by our minds, which constantly seek to divide the world into separate entities, including ourselves. The ego is like a filter through which we perceive the world. It shapes our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions, creating a sense of separateness and individuality. This sense of separateness is at the root of much of our suffering, as it leads us to see ourselves as isolated and disconnected from the rest of the world. One of the key practices in Zen for transcending the ego is meditation. Through meditation, we can quiet the chatter of our minds and experience a state of pure awareness, free from the constraints of the ego. In this state of pure awareness, we can experience our true nature, which is vast, boundless, and interconnected with all things. Meditation is not about trying to achieve a specific state of mind, but rather about letting go of the ego's grip on our consciousness. As we let go of the ego, we can experience a sense of unity with the world around us, a feeling of oneness that transcends our individual identity. The nature of reality according to Zen philosophy. In Zen, reality is seen as a dynamic, ever-changing process rather than a fixed, static entity. This view of reality challenges our conventional understanding of the world and invites us to see things in a new light. One of the key concepts in Zen is the idea of impermanence. Impermanence is the notion that all things are in a constant state of flux, always changing and evolving. This concept is central to Zen teachings and is considered fundamental to understanding the nature of reality. Another important concept in Zen is the idea of emptiness. Emptiness does not mean literal emptiness, but rather the idea that all things are interdependent and lack inherent existence. This concept challenges our tendency to see things as separate and independent entities and invites us to see the interconnectedness of all things. Zen also emphasizes the importance of direct experience in understanding reality. Zen masters often speak of seeing into the nature of things, which means directly experiencing the true nature of reality without the filter of conceptual thinking. This direct experience is said to reveal the true nature of reality as dynamic, interconnected, and ever-changing. One of the key practices in Zen for experiencing the true nature of reality is meditation. Through meditation, we can quiet the mind and experience a state of pure awareness, free from the distortions of conceptual thinking. In this state of pure awareness, we can directly experience the dynamic and interconnected nature of reality.